Welcome to Bill Nye the Science Guy, female edition. Okay. The words will probably be backwards because it's facing this way. But I wrote out the class of levers because you're going to need to know that for the test. So, like, this is a class 1 lever, which we have on our lever. And it's an example of that would be a seesaw or a scale. And then we have a class 2 lever, which we have on the other side of our machine, which would be a wheelbarrow. And then finally we have a class 3 lever right here, which would be like a stapler. Like I have a stapler there. And the difference is with a class 1 lever, you have effort and load on one side. So you have both weights teetering. And then on a class 2 lever, you have the fulcrum all the way on the end. You have your effort going up, just like you pick up a wheelbarrow or you pull on a shovel. Yeah, I think that's right. And then the weight would be somewhere in the middle. And then on a class 3 lever, like a stapler, you would have the effort in the middle because you push in the middle of a stapler, but all the force, but the weight is on the front. And then to the anatomy of our lever. So here is the class 1 lever, which as you can see, the fulcrum is in the middle of the lever. Excuse me. And then the lightweight goes at the top, and the heavyweight goes here. And as I have it written, you move the heavyweight further towards the fulcrum, the heavier it is, because that's going to take weight off of it. It's going to spread out the weight that has to be held. So if you have a 200 and a 200 right here is the 1-to-1 ratio. And on our lever that we have in class, I have the 1-to-1 ratio marked, and it's equal, and I already calibrated it. It's perfect. But on the 1-to-2 lever, it's like an educated guess. I don't know exactly where it is. I have a couple lines, and it's somewhere within the middle. And so but to find the ratio with the lever, you move the heavyweight to the left. So as you see, I have the 1-to-1 ratio, and then the 1-to-1 or the 1-to-2 ratio will be somewhere in the middle. And this is lever number 1, where you will put the lightweight. Lightweight goes on lever number 1. Heavyweight goes on lever number 2. The fulcrum's here, and the weight goes here, and you move it this way. And then a couple notes. So our lever consists of a class 1 lever and a class 2 lever. The lever number 1 has upward force because as I showed you on the classes of levers, a class 2 lever, you're pushing like you would be a wheelbarrow. You have to pick it up to carry that load. And so the upward force is here. And then on the class 2 lever, you have the downward force. So this is pushing up while this is pushing down, and you want to make the forces equal, and that's how you find the ratio. And so don't forget that number 1 holds the lightweight, number 2 holds the heavyweight. To find the ratio of the 2 weights, you move the heavyweight to the left, and on our lever, I already read that. And then we need to go over the formula. Okay, so I know it's backwards and you can't read it, so I'll read it to you. Okay, so this is not the actual formula that I found on the internet and that Coach Lester helped us with. It's the simplified version, because I simplified it so it would be faster for you to do on the test. And it is input over output. Is that right? Alright. It's either input over output or output over input. And you have to multiply it by gravity. And gravity will always be, where do I have it? 9.8. Gravity will always be 9.8 because gravity never changes. It's always the same. You don't wake up floating in the morning. It's always the same. Don't change it. So, if your load is on the lightweight side, you have 200. On the heavyweight side, you have 200 grams. Then you would multiply both of them by 9.8. And I did that over here. Yeah. And both would come out to be 1,960. And then after you get the big number, you divide. So that would be 1, telling you that the 200 grams is a 1-to-1 ratio. And so the same with, I did 300 and 200. I did get them backwards. It's okay though. And so you get 2,940 for 300 times 9.8. And then you get 1960, which we already did, for 200 times 9.8. And that comes out to be 1.5, meaning that 300 to 200 would be 1.5 ratio. And I think I may or may not have that marked on the lever. I can't remember. But so, if you have 200 on the lightweight end and 400 on the heavyweight end, that would be a 1-to-2 ratio. And I have that marked on the lever. Oh my gosh. And then anything else? Tonight you need to study what kind of gears there are. Like, there are 9 types of gears, and she put it on the practice test, and I don't know what they are. I got confused. And you also need to study the 3 laws of motion. I know one of them was a object in motion tends to stay in motion. And so you need to know 1 through 3. And I think that's it. Good luck. Make me proud.